if I actually had it in here. Okay, I don't see it, but okay. Basically, so the program I used to make beats is something my homeboy Ali put me on years ago. He moved on to Ableton, and everybody else moved on to Ableton. But I use this program called Reaper. I'm probably the only person on the planet still using this program. But to me, it's not about what you use, it's how you use it. I made BMO with it, so it's good enough to me. So we can take you through what I first started with was the sample. I sped up the sample, I pitched it up a couple semitones, and this was the first thing you heard. So I started here, and if I'm being completely honest, I don't remember the exact order of how I produced the beat, but I can go through some of the stages. So I had this looping, and I put in some hi-hats to kind of keep a consistent rhythm. And the thing is about, so as a producer and a rapper, like I'm always conscious of balance in a beat, because a lot of producers, they try to make themselves the star of the song, and it's not really room for the artist. So you want to leave space for the artist's voice, because the artist's voice is an instrument as well. It's part of the beat, it's part of the song. So you want to try to leave space. So not doing too much, allowing the artist to not be locked into one particular rhythm, so they can try to like experiment. So those were those hi-hats, and then we brought in some open hi-hats. What it did just come to me. I feel like I had the beat kind of like this for a while, like it was something there, but it needed more movement. And I was trying to think of something with percussion to get it, just to get it interesting, not just like stuck into one thing. So, for whatever reason, the first thing that came to me was, I'm gonna stop it real quick. The first thing that came to me was actually this Kanye West song. It's off of 808s and Heartbreak. Well, can't play that. Wi-Fi would have been real clutch right now. But if you know the song Coldest Winter by Kanye West, off 808s and Heartbreaks, it starts off with these like, I think the timpani drums, and they just set a mood basically. And so I made this beat fresh off doing an album called Elephant Eyes that had some sample issues. And so when I thought about sampling Kanye, I immediately thought that might not be the best idea, it might be hard to get cleared. I don't want to put Ari in that situation. So I have my man Ron Gilmore, who's not here right now, but Ron is an amazing piano player, producer, artist, period. So Ron has always throughout the years helped me with just adding accents to beats, adding chords, just bringing the musicality into the beat. So I hit Ron and I was like, yo, I want you to, if possible, I never even asked him to do this before. I was like, can you try to recreate these drums from the Kanye song and just do like something kind of like some African rhythms. So this is kind of what he came up with. probably don't even really recognize when you're listening to the song because it's tucked in the background, but it just keeps the movement. So. Add a couple more hi-hats. And I want to say the biggest thing about a beat like this, because it's basically a loop. So you got to keep a loop interesting. It's like a lot of people can just loop a record, but how do you make it into a record? And so you have to. All of the music I came up listening to had sections. It's like that's real musicianship. So even if it's just a loop, you add different sections and different variations. The singer can play off of, and that creates the song. So we got this. The next thing that happened was I added the snare. So the issue with the snare is my man Ali, who I said was one of the people that kind of put me on this program to make beats. Ali has always been great at like sound selection. So that's honestly, sound selection is probably the most important part of making beats. Like picking the right drum sounds that's gonna cut through, the right snare, the right kick drum, the right hi-hats that's gonna be crisp, and the ones that fit together well. That's more important than almost anything because the wrong sounds can make the same beat sound dated. The wrong sounds can make the same beat sound generic. So you gotta be intentional and just kind of know what sound am I going for, and then pick the sounds that you think feel like what you're going for. It's really that simple. But my point is, I had a snare on here that was cool. It had like some bottom to it. But Ali heard that. He was like, yo, I think you can pick a better sound. I think there's something better here. And as a producer, you gotta remove your ego and remove your like, I know it all, it's my beat. Because at the end of the day, you're just trying to make, the goal is to make something great. Like, it's not about how it comes about. So remove the ego. When Ali told me that, one, Ali is an amazing producer himself, so why would I not listen to him? So when he told me that, I was like, yo, let's just go through some sounds, whatever you're hearing. And basically what happened was, the name of this snare is actually called Perfect Snare because we ended up using the snare I had, which had some bottom, and the snare he had, which had like a little crack at the end of it, and we blended them, and it became the perfect snare. So that's how we ended up with that. I also, let me go back. I feel like that was way more like structured. I got here late for his, but my bad if mine ain't as like structured as his. But the main thing, that's the main beat, right? But I would say Ron and Elite helped me a lot in terms of just making it more dynamic. So we had these things, that's what I'm playing. And then I also brought another part of the sample where I made it higher. I'll show you. One second. So another thing you can do with and this might be simple, but like I said, when you're dealing with a loop, you want to try to have variation. And so this was the main loop in the sample. But in other sections, the same sample comes at a different pitch. So and now they're playing together, and it just adds a different, it feels like the music has changed. It feels like it's a new section. It feels like it's not a loop anymore. And so you just want to be creative. You want to just try things, see what works. So this high part of the sample, that only lasts for about 8 bars, and it comes out. And it comes out because it gives Ari now room to do what she's doing. This might come in on the hook, or it might come in on one particular section, but basically what I'm trying to say is when you're a producer, you want to make something great, but you want to take a backseat to the artist. Like, the artist is the star. You want them to shine. You want to compliment them. And a lot of times, producers, I think, try to be the star. And I'm not hating on that, but if you're going to be the star, then, like, do a producer album where it's about you. You know what I mean? But if it's for someone else, you want to try to compliment them and make them shine in their highest light. So, let's see. I'm going to just play it all together. Actually, no, before I do that, there's a couple other things that so along with like sample tricks and experiment with the sample, you can also obviously add other instruments. So you can add synths, you can add organs. There's organs on here, there's synths. Let me see. There's like sound effects, it's like some, let me show you, it's like some beeps. These like little things, it's like ear candy that you may not notice, but it adds a lot to the beat. So, yeah, I didn't even get to the bass. Let's take it all out. One of the synths I was talking about. And if it's any like earheads in here, I think I used Oddity. That was the VST I used for this synth. And it's a good synth because it has a lot of analog synths. You can add a trick I like to do, I mean, a lot of producers probably do this, but along with the VST is adding effects onto the VST to, you know, give it more texture, more depth, to make it sound more like the instruments that you're sampling, to make it fit in with whatever sound or texture you're going to. Again, like I said, picking the right sounds is big. So that goes along with everything you're doing, because you want to create a texture, you want to create a soundscape to what you're doing. So, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the process. Like I said, I started with the beat, then I went to Ron, he added those percussion, he added some organs, and I added some synths on top. And Elite, you know, went through the due diligence of going through the sounds with me and just having that ear, you know what I mean? And it all turned out great. Adam, who's in here somewhere, he wanted me to tell y'all, because he's been dying for me to say this for years. Adam was the first person to tell me he thought this was gonna be a hit. And I was like sleeping on it. Honestly, a lot of people was telling me like, it's gonna be a hit. And I was like, oh, we'll see, you know. I don't like to like set myself up. I was just proud of the song. So that's how BMO came about. Yeah.